weekly conversations to elevate how we live, think, and show up. So, these last few weeks, we've been talking about living with intention and living on purpose. If you've missed any of those conversations, you can go back and listen to them. Today, we're going to wrap up the topic and we're going to talk about how to integrate what we've been discussing for sustainable growth and transformation. Before we dive in, if you've been getting value from these videos, please remember to like, to share with someone else who may get value from the videos, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Michelle, will you kick us off?
Absolutely. So I want to start with integration, what that is. Integration is where your shifts align. So you've done the work with aligned action and taking courage. And now integration is where you've learned how to live it. So you can read the books, you can attend the workshops, you can have the breakthroughs. But if it doesn't change, if you don't change how you work, how you speak, how you choose, then integration hasn't happened yet. So integration is the embodiment of your awareness.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say to add to that, it's also maintaining the habits and the routines that you are
Mhm.
working with. And because really the mundane is how you build and grow and then have the opportunity to do the integration. I've actually been talking a lot about this with Kurt, with my husband. He's been doing a lot of personal development work lately. And there's been a lot of shifts happening and opportunities coming. And he's been having a lot of aha moments. And then he got a little bit like, how do I make sure, like, I don't want to go back. I want to make sure that this continues. And we were talking about when it's that, fear of excitement mixed with a tinge of, I know it's not integrated yet. I don't want to go back to some of those old ways and patterns. It's to first and foremost, I feel, is make sure that you have the habits and the routines and the rituals. Like, make sure that you stay to those so that when things come up, either internally or externally, when you're in the in between, when you're in the process of integrating, you can stay in that space. Don't abandon what got you there to begin with.
Yes, absolutely. Because integration, it's when it's when your life starts reflecting your awareness, without having to force it. That's when you know that habit is starting to form. You may go back and try on old beliefs or old behaviors, but it's like an old pair of shoes. They just don't fit right. They don't feel right, right? And we do that. We can go forwards and then maybe take a step back and be like, oh no, I actually prefer to operate like this. So it's like you recognize when you feel something is off. And maybe you still say yes or you overextend when it drains you, but then you choose again, right? Because we have the choice to choose over and over. Every moment is a new moment to make a new choice. So when we're in that awareness of integration, we say it doesn't work for me, without an explanation. We build towards what's working in our life. That's integration. It's where growth sticks.
Yeah. And it really, if you think about it, ties in everything we've been talking about. We started this
Mhm.
whole thing with talking about awareness. So it's that reminder that all that we've been talking about these last few weeks is the key to integrating it. It is the awareness, recognizing, oh wait, I'm thinking this or I'm saying this. This isn't what I actually want to be bringing in. So let me put in that new habit, that new pattern. It's important to remember that when we haven't quite yet fully stepped into the version of ourselves we're becoming, it's very uncomfortable. So we make sure that we're developing our personal toolkit with our meditations and our journaling, podcasts, yoga sequences, whatever it is that we do. And then, like you introduced, Michelle, last week, is that courage, like to remember that it's going to be a little bit scary because to integrate these new things, it's not familiar. And our brain is literally wired to keep us in the familiar. It hasn't, our brain has not evolved with us wanting to evolve.
Absolutely. And it's practice. Everything is practice. But I want to talk a little bit about what integration looks like and what it feels like, because that's when we know, right? So it's about choosing differently when we're triggered, especially when we're triggered. We stop over explaining ourselves and we honor our truth. It looks like following through with a boundary that you've set in place. It's not abandoning yourself to to make everyone else feel comfortable, right? That's when you're integrating what it could look like. And then what it feels like is it feels like that confidence, that quiet confidence. You don't need anyone else's validation. You just feel like, yeah, I'm going to do this, right? You're just kind of stepping into it without having 5 conversations with, a few other people before you actually make your choice. It's that, less inner conflict, and more assurance. That's what it could feel like. And it's that peaceful in your decision making. It's because that's the growth and then the integration. So, I think that there's an alignment between what you know and how you live.
Yeah, and like what I'm hearing you say, the difference between reacting and responding.
Mhm.
And, there was something else that you said on your second one that I can't actually remember what it was, but I was thinking it's the difference between reacting and responding. Oh, and, your inner compass, right? Like you said, it doesn't don't get the advice and opinion of 5 other people. It's not to say don't talk to your trusted person or don't talk to your coach, because
Mhm.
that person is not thinking about what they think you should do. That person is listening to you and helping you to get to your truth and actually bring it into being. But a lot of other people, they're just not. A lot of other people, they're going to be scared when you're making changes because remember the brain is wired for comfortable. We like steady routine. So telling somebody else, they're kind of like, I don't know about that. I like you kind of the way you are. That's what I'm used to. So it's just important to remember that, protect your space and don't overshare, because then until we're truly confident and truly integrated, when we overshare, we can hear things and it can throw us off course, honestly.
Mhm. It's like refining your life. That's kind of how I like to think about integration with your new habit, your new way of being. Living the life you say you want with courage, using your aligned action. It's that refining, ongoing process, right? It's editing your life to match who you're becoming. That's, I think, for me, how I can identify with it. Like, not everyone needs to be rebuilt, and some things just need to be adjusted. And I think that's okay. It's not like we have to abandon everything, but sometimes it's more about unbecoming a few things before
Mhm.
we're becoming.
Absolutely. Yeah, one other thing that I was thinking about in today's age of social media, where we see finished products a lot of the time, or we see highlights of somebody's life that look really great and wonderful, or even the overnight sensations with movies or books. Very, very, very rarely is somebody an overnight sensation. Very rarely did something happen so easily that is so big and on the radar of everybody else. More commonly, it's that people have had the habits in place. They are developing their skills, doing projects, growing, gaining wisdom, failing, being misdirected, being confused, being in the fog, as we ultimately get more and more clear on our path, build just progressively build what it is that we want to do, and even getting more and more clear in our heart. So I always think that that's important to remember, is that what we're seeing online, these and what we're seeing, on the overnight sensations, we're not seeing the path. Generally speaking, we're not seeing the path of what it took to get there. So it's just important to remember that it does happen in the details. It does happen often through trial and error. Really, the foundation being that awareness, putting your habits into place and your routines, staying steady on the course of your heart and your
Mhm.
truth, your
Mhm.
authenticity.
Yeah, that's personal growth. It's always for me about removing what isn't aligned. That's how I measure my personal growth. It's
Mhm.
um we're the core of who we are. We have a unique gift for a reason, but we create the space for it. When we can't breathe, like I can go back into this overcommitted place, and um that place, like I'm so overwhelmed. I can't breathe. And I don't mean physically can't breathe. I just feel tight, like tight in my schedule, tight in my body. And so then I'm like, oh, I'm doing it again. Right. So then that's my, like, I know how I feel in my body when I'm in the flow, when I'm aligned. And aligned, it's that aligned body, mind, spirit. Like for me, it's not just aligned with my to-do list, right? That's not what I'm talking about at all. So that's how I can identify with, like, where in my life am I forcing instead of flowing? Okay. What feels out of rhythm right now? What's one thing I can refine or realign today? Like just a tweak. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna have to take a whole week and or a whole weekend, or no, it's just like one small step, even towards being more integrated with who you're becoming. Small step is all it takes.
And I think something you said that really stuck out to me is that you are removing what is misaligned. And that to me brings it all back to the truth of our essence, our core is 100% in alignment. It
Mhm.
it's our, call it our soul, call it our heart, call it our spirit, whatever that word is for you, for your essence of truth. That is exactly it. It's all there within the compass, the path, what is aligned. We are aligned with our highest and our best at our center. So we're not adding anything from the outside. We're not bringing anything in from the outside. We are simply from within taking away what is misaligned.
Yeah, that's living intentionally. When you become more, when it becomes more or less about managing the chaos,
Mhm.
and more about moving in the rhythm of what truly matters to you, right? So it's
Yeah,
different for everybody, but that rhythm is the growth. That rhythm is you evolving. And I think that's what's to be celebrated. Those small steps, a big victory of when you feel like you're in the flow, when you feel you're living intentionally on purpose, with awareness, with choice. And so that's what I love about self-help, growth,
yeah,
personal development, that feeling that you kind of like it's so quiet. It's like
yeah,
being in outer space, that peaceful, like
yeah,
quiet of alignment.
yeah.
There's that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Stacey? I think
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
the
well, you
vibe
just
of it.
yeah, you're not out in the chaos, you're just in that flow, and absolutely celebrate those small moments. Celebrate
Mhm.
the fact that you have done your meditation today. You did whatever it is that keeps you aligned, or you did whatever it is to release what's misaligned, or to honor your truth, to speak up, to say yes, to say no. Like, celebrate that every single time. That's also how we build.
Yeah, I think one time we had a thing where it's like, oh, let's text each other every time we have a victory.
Yeah,
And so we would start sending emojis to keep
yeah,
us on track, which makes it fun, right? Like it doesn't have
yeah.
to be like, oh, I gotta grow, I gotta change, I gotta evolve. It can be fun, it can be lighthearted, it can be
Yeah.
easy.
And then it shows the universe, it's like, "Yes," and then our vibration rises, and it's like, "Oh, okay, we'll have more of these moments because we're now attracting them because we just anchored in, bookmarked in a high vibe celebration, yes, receptive, my body can receive more." I
Yay.
like this.
So good. I love it. So, yeah, if today's conversation inspired you, please like, share, or subscribe. We are here every Thursday at 9:30 with Morning Vibes. And until next week, keep rising, stay in growth, and do what feels what's true for you.
I
So,
love it.
until next week,
See you
bye.
next week, everybody. Bye.